kind of stealing this question from him. I saw on the Joe Budden podcast, they brought this up. They were asking, is Mike McCarthy kind of known to do what just happened in Dallas? And Joe was kind of poking at the idea of, all those years in Green Bay, he had Aaron Rodgers, always, great regular seasons, and then kind of lackluster playoff. I mean, bar the one Super Bowl run, lackluster playoff results at least. And then it seems like his first 3 years in Dallas, same sort of deal. And I mean, is it a situation where is Mike McCarthy a choke artist? Is it? I mean, I don't know really necessarily what to call it, but it seems like this has kind of been a consistent issue of his, regardless of the team. Now we've seen him on two different teams having the same issue. It seems like.
Yeah, I would say that he's not a top tier coach. I think he's a good coach. I mean, the Cowboys won 12 games 3 years in a row, so you can't really argue with that. He's a made man, been to and won a Super Bowl. But you got to remember, it took Andy Reid a long time. It took him until 2018 to win his first Super Bowl. He'd been there and lost. He'd been to the championship games and lost. And so, for McCarthy to have that monkey off the back and to win the Super Bowl, again, he's a made man, but is he someone you look at and say, we add him to our team and we're going to, go on this magical run to the Super Bowl? I don't think so. And I feel like you saw that this year more than any other year. The Cowboys fired Kellen Moore because they said that he was abandoning the run too much. Well, during the regular season, Dallas didn't really run the ball at all. And then they get to the playoffs against the Packers, who were 28th in rushing defense. And they decide that's the game where they want to run the ball a lot, and it doesn't work. And Jordan Love is able to go bang, 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 get a huge lead, and they really had no chance to come back. So it was a very disappointing year, maybe the most disappointing year of Mike McCarthy's Dallas tenure so far.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, if you put another head coach in there, it's not like they're going to win that game. You can't really prevent Dak throwing interceptions, just boneheaded throws, but
yeah, here we go.
I mean, I don't know, man. Mike McCarthy, it never feels like the locker room has his back, if you know what I mean. Just he's not one of those coaches. Like DeMeco Ryans, I bet they have fun in the locker room,
Yeah, I'm sure there is a disconnect. That's honestly another, I mean, good thing too, if we don't mind jumping into another impromptu one here. Like, teams definitely perform better that like their head coach. I mean, you look at the Raiders. You look at the Raiders and how they played for what is it, DC or RC? I forgot what the acronym was for his name, but
Antonio Pierce.
AC. There we go. Third time's the charm.
But yeah.
Oh my God,
you're really fumbling this one.
Fumble in this one, but what's the name? Like if you look at like an Andy Reid, he's an older coach. It seems like he connects with his players and they like him. But with the exception of that, yeah, and they trust him and they know that he has like their best interests at heart. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it seems like a lot of these older coaches, like hell, I mean, Belichick's had some bad years recently. Like, I mean, a lot of the older coaches, like it seems like there's almost maybe a disconnect, and maybe that almost even affects the performance of the team. To some extent on how much the players really are willing to go to battle for these guys. Because, I mean, like Grant said, you look at Antonio Pierce in Oakland, or you look at some of the younger coaches all around the league, whether it be San Francisco or Miami and the Rams. Yeah. Like these are all teams that not San Francisco as much, but if you look at the Rams especially, I'd say like they had their Super Bowl win, but then since then they've been in a position where they could have kind of started to go downward, but they've always kind of made it back to the playoffs and kind of clawed their way and still been a decent team. And I think a lot of that's due to them liking Sean McVay, wanting to play hard for him, wanting to uphold a reputation of being a good team. Whereas if you feel this disconnect and you guys are kind of in like a limbo, it's probably easier to not really, give a shit, for lack of a better word. And, you're getting paid either way. So
let me jump in here too, if you don't mind. And that's actually a very good point that you stumbled on, because some of the top coaching prospects for this offseason are Ben Johnson, the Lions OC, Mike McDonald, the Ravens DC, and Bobby Slowick, the Texans OC. And I believe all of them are 36. Right now, the youngest head coach, I believe, is 37. So if any one of them get hired, or they would set the record for youngest head coach, and if all three of them get hired, they would break it 3 times. So the league is definitely trending in that direction. And I think part of it almost is with those older coaches, a lot of the times it's former players that join staffs and they work their way through the coaching tree and all that. Someone like Mike Vrabel, I mean, he's not old, but I think he's late 40s, but he had his 10, 15-year playing career, was an assistant. Then he gets the Texans for 5 years, or the Titans, excuse me. Now he's looking for a new team. When you've got guys like, to your point, Mike McDaniel, Sean McVay, these are, I say this lovingly, these are football nerds. Like, these are stats guys. These are analytics guys. And they're sort of just these creative thinkers. And they've suddenly found a place in the NFL. And they're, creating new schemes and forcing the league to adapt. To use a term that I know Josh will understand, a new meta. And it's just something that's changed the league. And that's kind of where everyone's looking right now. People, Belichick's still going to get a job. Someone like Harbaugh is going to get a job. But, a Ron Rivera, something like that, a coach that's established in the NFL, has been around for a while. The teams aren't really looking to bring someone in like that. They would rather take a chance with a 30-something-year-old coach who might fail, but who also might just be the next best thing.
Don't get me started on Ron Rivera. That's the reason there's not a Commander's blanket, right? I didn't want it to be this way. It didn't have to be like this. But you wanted to bet Taylor Heineke and not know if we could even make the playoffs. So now we're here.
Hey, look, Taylor Heineke went to Old Dominion, bro. Look, respect to ODU. I got love for all the schools in Virginia. I don't want an ODU quarterback starting for my team. That's all I'm going to say.
That's what I thought. I was a Taylor Heineke hater. That's the worst part, because me, I'm stubborn when I don't like it. So the fact that I like him a lot now makes me so mad he's gone.
Like, bro, just imagine you're down in the Hampton, Newport News area, and you're like, yo, let's go check out an ODU game. I heard they got my next franchise quarterback. What? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Like, you're at the 757 and you go to Edge and you just see your next franchise QB at Edge. I know everybody down there is like, anybody who hears this from down there is gonna like geek at that, but it's
like if we're going to go watch a high school game, like we're going to check out Phoebus, then okay, I'm down. But ODU, that's where the next franchise quarterback is. Nah, I don't think so.
Nah, Phoebus is a farm for NFL talent. I can't name a single person from there in the league, but I know there's people there in the league. I'd be willing to bet on it right now.